Hello everyone, tonight I am going to talk about what is the appropriate age for a child to have a cell phone. Now this can be a very controversial topic just because some people may believe that, cell phones, you have to earn them. When you get a job, you can purchase a cell phone. Some people may feel like it's a necessity for their child to have a cell phone. They may need it for communication or to track their location. They have busy children in different activities and clubs, and, they may need it for communication. So, this is a very controversial topic, which I discovered when I was doing my research, reading the different articles and the different reasonings why parents believed, why my child needs a cell phone or, why they don't need a cell phone. So, during my speech, I'm going to try to just kind of elaborate on the things that I read and, things like what's too young, right? What's the appropriate age? Is there an appropriate age? Should the parents monitor these cell phones? How much privacy should the child get if they have a cell phone, if any privacy at all? These are just some of the topics while doing my research that came about that hopefully I will be able to elaborate and help you make your own decision for your child or your future children on making this decision on what is the correct age. Okay, so according to a survey that was ran by the Pew Research Center in 2021, SafeWise company published this online. Again, it was the Pew Research Center that ran this report. It showed that 45% of parents, which was the majority, felt strongly that the appropriate age for children to have a cell phone was between the ages of 12 and 14. The research just showed that they felt that, children of this age are more mature, they're more likely to take care of the phone and use it appropriately. The report showed 28% of the parents preferred that the child wait until age 15 to 17. Again, saying that the maturity level was the main issue in making the child wait. Okay, there was a very small percentage, it was 9%. Of the parents that felt that age 9, as young as age 9, their child can have a cell phone. Now, that kind of it kind of struck me like 9, it seems like too young. But when these parents were asked, the reasoning that they chose was, they need to get in contact with their child. They ride the bus or they walk home. So it was more like of a necessity, not that, oh, I'm just rewarding my child. They want a cell phone. It was all of the reports or the reasonings that were listed on the research were more like they felt that the child needed it. Okay. Since cell phones came out, there has been tons of new technology. There are these new phones, smartphones, where, you program like 3 or 4 numbers in there and they can only call those numbers. They can receive calls, but they can't make outgoing calls. It has a location. So there are different options when parents were asked, like, how young is too young, or what kind of phone would you let your child have. They were also talking about some smartwatches. If you felt like, oh, I need it just to locate my child, you can get them a smartwatch where they don't have all of the capabilities of a cell phone, with social media and tracking and all of this. If they had a smartwatch to where it's an app on your phone and you just track them. Okay, so a lot of different options. A few questions that we ask ourselves as parents is how responsible are our children? Okay, what are the dangers of them having a phone? Do the benefits outweigh the negatives? I believe no matter what age, there should be many factors that you determine when your child is ready. But again, there's different reports out there that say, 11 to 12, 15 to 17. So we'll kind of go through some of these reports and you guys can, make a decision. What are some of the benefits of your child having a cell phone? According to the Children's Bureau, they believe that cell phone usage allows children to have a world of knowledge at their fingertips, which is right. In this day of age, everything is technical, right? I have a question, let me just pull it up if I don't have the answer. I think children nowadays, and research also shows that children don't really have that attention span to kind of wait. Oh, let me ask a question. Let me wait for the answer. They kind of like, oh, let me just pull it up. Boom, there's the answer. I'm good to go. So it's a different style of learning now into where, our children are in classrooms and, everything is technology, right? So they have gaming apps that help them get through their daily lessons. So they're using a lot of screen time there. So it kind of, when they go back home, they're so used to, this high speed of technology. When they go home, it is kind of like they still want that. They still have that attention span to where they need that constant stimulation. So this cell phones is kind of like a reason, like I need to be on social media or I need to do this or that. So a benefit that, the Children's Bureau believes is that the child will benefit more from hearing an author's voice from a speech, or, seeing an event that took place in history rather than just reading it from a textbook. I know a lot of us grew up that way, touching the paper, kind of feeling the story that way. Research is showing that, technology and these different senses is actually more effective for our children. But again, it's no matter what reports come out, it's kind of how you take it, okay? As mentioned before, many parents see that their child is having a phone benefit is more like keeping track of them, or, how responsible is their child? They're supposed to call me here. I need to pick them up there, kind of thing. According to the Children's Bureau, we should be concerned about how much screen time, we're allowing our child to have. So yes, although a cell phone is very handy, there should be some restrictions. They're getting all the screen time in class, in school. So when they go home, you as the parent should be able to, okay, only 1 hour or no phones at the dinner table. Kind of what boundaries are you setting for your household and for your child? Okay. There was a doctor, Dr. Jasmine Sheikh, and she did her research and she found that no like physical brain damage was being done with the use of cell phones in children. But she did find is that a lot of these children, what was being affected was like their sleeping patterns, their behavior. Some of them were showing some aggressiveness, or more likely to like act out. So that goes again with setting limits for our children, not having the phone at the dinner table, or kind of what standards you put for your child. Are they allowed privacy? Do they need that? There's been studies that have showed that, yeah, you should give your child some privacy, but you as the parent, you are the owner of that phone. You purchased that phone, yes, for them, but for your convenience, not for theirs. So what I read is that it's very important for us as parents, or you as a future parent, to kind of set those boundaries and say, we're going to allow you to have this phone, and letting them know of the dangers, like cyberbullying, how do they deal with that? About posting, like being respectful, not just posting inappropriate things, taking account of respect, not just for themselves, but of the public. Also, what a lot of parents forget about is, once something you post is on the web, I mean, everyone can see it. So letting your child know that college recruiters may be available to see these posts. So you need to think about not just what you're posting now, but what's going to be there in the future. So there was a lot of kind of back and forth. And there was not, during my research, there was not like a given age, like, 10 to 11 or 12 to 14. A lot of the research said, this is kind of like what we think, but basically it goes down to you and your household and your child as an individual and their maturity level. You may have an 11-year-old who's very mature. You may have a 16-year-old who's not mature. So it's like, who's going to take care of that phone? Who's going to answer that phone when you call them? Who's going to be more responsible? So I hope I didn't confuse you guys with anything. Hopefully I've just kind of opened up your minds to a lot of the subjects or kind of items that we should be asking ourselves before we make that decision of giving our child a cell phone. Yeah, that's all I got. Thanks.